Ladies and gentlemen, my name is James Castle, and I have the privilege to be the president of the Brunswick Heritage Museum. And we welcome you to this very special production of the Marvin E. Younkins Films. We hope you enjoy this glimpse into Brunswick, small town America, late 1940s to the mid 1950s. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the films.
Oh, wow. I mean, to have an actual tank, go through the town, it's amazing. And to have the military vehicles and everyone in uniform. I and all these floats. We yearn for more floats in our parade, and we have some every year. But to have folks put in the time and the effort to do these floats together, it's amazing. Marching bands, always a favorite of attendees. What I also noticed, Jim, is the audience. They're 3 or 4, 5 rows back, maybe even. Oh my goodness, there we go. I have no idea what kind of planes those were, but to have a flyover is also pretty unique. This is awesome. I know folks talk about the past parades and what folks either saw from a spectator perspective or even just participant perspective. Is I guess those were the days when there was less competition in time of your time, right? And this was the thing to come out to, and it still is. But it'd be great to have the entire community and entire region come out. Being a history buff, it's just cool to see everything, like everything from the old cars to the old outfits and what people wore and what the streets looked like at that time. Yeah, the parade, even today, we typically have over 100 parade entries, so it's an amazing event still yet. But to have, the level of military participation and number of bands participate, we'd love to get back to that time frame where we have more bands, more military participation. The marching unit, oh, that's awesome. He's having a good time. Oh, I love this old footage. It's so important to have this type of archival collection information too, just so that we can indeed look back to see how an event has progressed over time or how it's changed over time. I guess those are city police on their motorcycles. That's cool. Wonder when we show this how many people can recognize relatives or family members. Yeah, I love these different bands. My wife was a marching band person, so she's also partial to bands. Yeah, that's one of the things that I know folks remind me about and remind me of frequently is all the various military units that would participate and march in the parade. Oh, I love that. That's cool. Look at all the floats. If we could figure out a way to get some more floats in our parade, that'd be awesome. and even another marching band. We're lucky this day and age to get like two marching bands. It looks like there's, in just this small amount of footage, 4, 5, 6 bands already. This is great footage. I'm so glad you were able to acquire it. Not so sure about them shorts though. Particularly at November, right? We have some occasional warm days, but I love the variety of participants too.
Okay, we're going to start right out on the railroad. Yeah, this is old.
So that is the Roosevelt train coming through.
Okay, okay.
It didn't stop, but it just came straight through.
Big day for Brunswick, though. I bet they had a bunch of people out. Yeah. Look at the old. Okay, water towers and so forth. See the smoke rolling. So. Okay.
So I don't know if you've seen these pictures
This.
before. Yeah.
Okay. I see. I see the gentleman there with the what we used to call peg leg, and yeah.
So he lost the bet.
We're back in the 30s, I guess, huh?
40s.
40s?
40s, maybe early 50s.
Okay.
Late 40s.
There's a turn at the Y. There's a corner of the Y.
Yep.
And you see the parking lot down there on the west side. Okay. I do see a couple of cars I'd like to have. That's right across the Y. That's the buildings across from the Y, the old post office. Yeah. Okay.
Look how fast this guy is.
I'm looking. Who is this? Do we know? Okay, here we go. Baseball. Okay, Lee Merriman.
Yep.
Yep. This is not hot. No, this is the county league. I don't know. The old swimming pool. Love that place. High dive and the low high dive. Here we go. The old swimming pool used to have back in the days when they used to do water shows. That was big on with the movies and TV and everything. They used to do a nighttime water show out at and it used to be choreographed and everything. Had the Roma Heb participated, I know, at least 1 year. She was local. The old
mayor's daughter.
Yeah. My one uncle, Howard Phillips, helped with the stonemasonry on the old pool house when that was built. He was from Weaverton, Maryland.
That was a works progress project?
Yep, probably was, yes. It's more the, it's good to see, well, it's really good to see. It's been a long time with everything that's out there now. I know, of course, when we built the new high school, we lost we lost the best baseball diamond in the county, if not the state of Maryland, with the Shear Stadium. There we go, okay.
Look how clean that
I
downtown
know.
is.
Yep. Yep.
Now there's the new diesels coming.
Okay. All right. These are mostly, I think mostly, I don't know, they look like mostly yard engines. I'm not sure. Of course, I don't know what, you know. Caboose, there we go. All right, okay, steam power. That that is a sight with all those engines lined up like that. That is quite a sight. The old roundhouse, and everybody climbing on. So this must have been a very big day in Brunswick. It must have been, as far as the railroad goes. And of course, with the advent and the bringing in of diesel power, well, excuse me, I'm looking at the cabooses there again. I'm looking for 1926, Jim. I don't know our local caboose. But with the advent of diesel power, you know, of course, that made a lot of changes around the shop as far as jobs and so forth. But they still remain very busy right on up into the at least the 80s, 1980s, early 80s.
Do you know where you're at here?
I'm looking. It's jumping back and forth right on the corner here now.
Yep.
So
Yep.
cut rate, Kaplan's. I'm trying. Yeah. These folks are a little bit old for me. I'm trying to recognize some of the faces, but house across the street. Yeah. The awnings and so forth. The old mailbox, if you say.
So that's the new engine coming off the boxcar.
New fire. That's what I was just going to say. New fire engine. I didn't realize where it was coming off of.
Yep.
Okay. Well, you know, in those days, you know, I mean, everything moved by rail. And of course, it was Eisenhower, President Eisenhower, and the legislation in the mid 50s that he had referenced the national highway system. That's what gradually brought on tractor and trailers and sort of phased out some of the deliveries by rail. That's a nice looking fire engine too.
I'd be scared to death back in that new thing.
Exactly.
And making Sonny Cannon mad if you...
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And I would imagine Sonny Cannon was probably a dominant figure even then. Of course, I think it was a combination of rail industry and local enthusiasts, reference the fire department and so forth, that built the fire department, the old fire department that we had in town. And because the railroad needed them as much as the town needed them.
That's Sonny.
Yeah.
That's definitely Sonny. You can tell by the stockiness of it.
Mm-hmm. The equipment itself, and of course here in later years towards the, well, I guess at least the last 10 years when they brought that one new engine in for the fire company, they had to dig out the drive back and make it deeper so that they could get the engine back in there. So that shows you how the equipment improved and got much larger.
Okay, this is a take of Doc Watson's camp up the river, and these folks they're in the film is the guy with the Rama of the Jungle hat is Emery Fry, and his wife is also in it, Elizabeth. And the other fellas, I really don't know who they are. Here's there's another unidentified person, but the woman in this boat, no, it's both Emery and another one of his friends. So it looks like they're doing some kind of net fishing there. There's Elizabeth Fry. Oh, this is from World War II when the men were going to get their physicals at Fort in Baltimore, whatever, Heidelberg. If you notice, they don't have any. They have civilian clothes on, so it means that this is probably right at the beginning of the war when they volunteered or was drafted into the service. I don't know what, I can't feel for the year, but some of these folks, maybe somebody can identify. The only one that I can identify is my uncle, and he was, this is my uncle there with his mother.
His name?
Jim Howie. And he ended up in anti-aircraft group in Texas. Okay, this is the first game of Little League Baseball. And I was talking about the field, and you'll get a chance to look at that. It was probably, it's pretty rudimentary at this point. And here's a shot of the teams. This is the Taggers. This is Dad's team. He coached the Taggers with Bernie Birch. There's the Lions with George Merriman as coach. He was the barber. He was one of the founders of the Little League. Another shot of the Taggers. There's the Cubs. Red Hall's Cubs. Remember, this is the first game. So these guys have brand new uniforms, brand new hats, brand new baseball. And Babbo Merriman was also, see, he's a Cub. He was on the Cubs. Now this is out in the field. If you look in the foreground, you're not going to see a fence. All you see is cars, and you're overlooking where the high school is. And this is the opening ceremonies. This was quite an exciting day. I was about 5 at this time. I wasn't playing. I was more or less a bat boy for the Taggers. Babbo again. He was very instrumental too in helping the league out a lot. He did a lot. When we finally got grass there, he was one of the primary guys that mowed the grass, and he also mowed it down on the major league field. I believe this is the mayor throwing out the first ball, and that would be Cummings, I think. Yeah. Mayor Cummings. Yeah. Yep. Okay. This is action, and as you can see, it may be a little sped up, but it's very accurate. Notice the umpire who had a big chest protector. Also, there's hits to shortstop. Another neat thing about the Little League, we used wooden bats, and we used to get them from People's Home in Alta, who would supply them for us. And there was this big problem with broken bats, and it got to the point where everybody had to have instructions on, make sure you hold a trademark up. And I would see Dad go out after a broken bat, and he would look at how it was broken, and he could tell where that trademark was by the way the bat was broken. And then he would talk to of course, the player about it. More than talk, but he would discuss it with them. And then he used to take them home, and then we used to take finishing nails and put in them, and then wrap them with tar tape and put them back into service for practice. couldn't use them in a game. But I can't. Again, the skill set of these kids for the first game is just amazing. And the crowd, again, point that out. The crowd is just amazing too.
So this is the Little League team?
This is the old timers.
Old timers.
This is an old timers game.
Oh, boy. Oh, I like that. There's the corn.
A lot of people.
There you go. Lay down a bump. That looks like a good one. Up. Was he out at third? And the old cars. I love the old cars. Everybody parked on the hill. We were lived in Albuquerque for a while, and the Dodgers AAA team was there, and they had this similar. They had the cars so you could park on the top of the hill and watch the game. It's a lot of fun. Oh, brush back. What happened? Did it hit him? You could tell it's an old timers game. He's trotting along, plodding along. Oh, he's going to make it. Good. Well, look, we got lots of umpires here, huh? That guy's fast. So how did they pick the teams? Did they have a name for the old timer team?
You know, I don't know. I know that it was a big draw.
Yeah, look at that. From everywhere along that hill, there's cars. It's packed. That's the Brunswick that I've come to know. People love baseball in Brunswick. Oh, there's a hitter. That guy looks like a professional hitter. Oh, yeah. It would really be neat to know any of those names, because there's been several baseball players from Brunswick that have gone to the professional leagues, which is going to be part of this display someday, hopefully. The McQuillan brothers. That's another baseball connection I have at my church. Is Diane McQuillan. Her husband is Rick McQuillan, who was the son of one of the brothers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I'm dying to. He's got all the memorabilia, and when we do that spot for the museum, he's offered to for me to look at it and share it.
That would be nice.
Yeah. You know what? That same cornfield's still there.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I like living out here. You can say I live out in the country. 2 blocks away, there's a cornfield.
That was it.
Cool.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for joining us in walking down memory lane here with the Marvin E. Younkins videos. I'd like to thank John Younkins again for his donation to the museum of these videos. I'd like to thank him for being here. I'd like to thank Sean Butcher. I'd like to thank Dan Bonesteel. I'd like to thank Norman Cornelius. And I also thank you. for being interested in Brunswick history and watching these videos. There is one common theme that I would like to bring together as we end this video. And there was something profound that John Younkins said in his watching of this. He was talking about when the Brunswick Little League field was created. He said it just wasn't one person, it just wasn't the city of Brunswick. It was a mob of people. And the one thing that these videos show is a community. And that is one thing that has made Brunswick strong over the years, and community is what will make Brunswick a strong place in the future. So I thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this video, and keep Brunswick's history alive. Thank you.